Subnautica Below Zero music. We'll do that. I haven't actually listened to this soundtrack. All right, so we're going to be generating worlds, and I'm going to be yelling about mental health probably for the majority of today, so that's kind of the going concern currently. The thing that we are generating worlds for is I would like to do a kind of spooky fortress for end of October, or end of September into October and through October. Maybe more than one. I mean, Long Death ain't going anywhere anytime soon, but for sanity's sake, you gotta change it up every so often. So, yeah, we're gonna set up for that. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna, make a couple of worlds today probably. Read some sets of legends, and I'm gonna ramble. Well, I mean, it's Ben Prunty's music, so obviously it's flawless, right? I'm a Ben Prunty fanboy. I wish he'd put his music on vinyl. One of my favorite things that Ben Prunty does, actually, is every year he does a charity stream where he does live remixes of his and covers of his own music. It's really fun watching him like recreate and cover and patch in like FTL into other soundtracks and stuff. It's cool. It's cool. So I'm thinking we'll keep the worlds medium size, but we're gonna go with long history. I'm not gonna do any fancy parameters. We'll just generate one until I find one that I like. Just keep savagery low. That by default. Let's do a high number of civs. Just for fun. See what we get. It's been a while since I generated a world. The last world I generated actually crashed during generation, which was the one I generated when I was talking with Tarn the last time. Let's just immediately pause. Let's do a peek around. Hey, Vin, what is up? Ooh, that's quite the swamp up there. Look at that. Rodent contents, the swamps of adoration. I don't dislike this spot, but I also don't really like it all that much. I think we'll try a redo real quick. I see spooky stuff right in the middle. A little haunted forest right there. Continent of questing in the Dune of Cancers. The volcano on the mainland. It's always a good sign. Good biome near mountain range. Elves on tiny islands. A bit too fractured. This is like a map of Earth flipped upside down, kind of like. This is kind of almost like Europe with a big hole in the middle, and then that looks kind of like Australia. Or like Asia even, actually. Yeah, it's kind of like someone punched a hole in the middle of Asia, and then, yeah. How you doing, B-Lug? Into your friend's face photo, it also found a human in there that was close enough in name, personality that it was your friend's. That's weird. I'm pretty awful, B-Lug, if I'm being honest. I'm pretty awful. Mental health is non-existent. That's a neat little island. It's like swamp. Mog M Mythusax? What language is that? I guess that's human, but like, it's a weird looking word. In the field of hatchets. I wonder how courteous that swamp actually is. No, I've just had bad weeks. And bad months. Like, being completely blunt, like, I haven't felt okay mentally this year. Let alone, like, this past week. I'm just starting to give up hiding it, that's all. Yeah, I've never done the generate a world that looks like something thing before. It's a big old evil lake. The Gross Gulf. I mean, it looks like it's full of vomit, so I'm not surprised that it's called the Gross Gulf. Let's let this one continue. Let's see what we get. Lakes, not so much. Oceans, yeah. Oceans do. Lakes, not so much. I did an evil lake once, or an evil lake, and it kept having, like, zombie fish, which was kind of funny. But yeah, no, it's been all over the place. Like, that's all. It's just been all over the place. It's like a combination of being just frustrated with Twitch and also just my own mental health going down the drain ever so consistently. Like, I just got nothing left at this point. Kind of like this spot. The land of races. The swamp of courtesy. It's an interesting looking swamp. I actually kind of really like this spot. It's like, there's dwarves here, and there's humans here, and there's a tower here. I don't see any goblins, though. So if we were to play something on this island, it would probably end up being like us versus the humans. Or rather, us versus the human tower. The Field of Hatchets, which is a good name, but... Kind of tempted to just let this one generate, and we'll see what it turns into. Actually, let's just pause and we'll watch that little island and see what happens on that little island. Like, are you still doing stuff with records? I feel like I haven't heard you mention anything about the hobby in a really long time. Just kind of curious. This little bridge, like this little road over here. It's like my mouse isn't showing up on DF because it's DF, but that little road right there is really neat. It's like there's just like this tiny little stretch of land going out to this tiny little spot here, but it looks like a bridge. It's like, I know it's a road, but it looks like a bridge. It's kind of neat, actually. So, Zapdos, why do evil lakes scare you? I'm just trying to keep the conversation rolling. Otherwise, I'm just gonna babble myself into oblivion. But yeah, without like... I don't want to... Without sounding too dire, everything I've ever cared about in my life, aside from my stream, has just been systematically removed from my life over the last, like, 4 years. Every single thing I've ever cared about. So, literally, there's nothing left but my stream. And Twitch just, like, throwing a wrench into that last week. This makes me mad. Hey, Mist Runner, what's up? Secondhand store you used to go to next to your workplace. Not really been there in a year and a half, gotcha. Oh, really? I've kind of decided to not buy anime LPs because they're expensive and I don't listen to them. Like, in theory, I always feel like I would like them, but I never actually listen to them. If you had, you wouldn't be here to tell us. It's like getting eaten by an undead whale. I would also, like, advise against a live sushi, but maybe that's just my preference. I would advise that you primarily eat dead sushi. Just specifically dead. If it's still alive, you... Yeah, I just got Cowboy Bebop. It's probably the only one I'll ever get. I almost just want to frame it too, because it's such a pretty pressing. It's a good soundtrack though, so I do actually listen to that one sometimes, but... Tell that to every single person on Earth who eats spicy food. Pilot, because isn't that literally what spicy food is? Is spicy food is food that fights back? Alright, we got a second tower on this little island. The dwarves seem to be having some hard times. I could eat live insects. That's about it, though. I've eaten orange ants. They taste like oranges. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really want to read these today, but I'm gonna read this one anyway. Sleep mats smell good. Hang washing with soap or white bread. Roasting tomatoes for pasta imparts neon highlights saucily? Is that a word? Stones creating the philosopher's blanket are light. Never start mixing unknown liquids under the flame. There you go. Please continue. This is kind of why, like, I almost don't want to read the Discord word stories, is because, like, they always throw me way off of my speech pattern rhythm. And it's like, right now especially, when I'm just, like, super fucking depressed, it's just, like, throwing a wrench in my ability to talk kind of thing. Why are those towns blue? Does anybody know what's up with this? I'll pause this for a second. The heck is that? I guess it's just human factions, but they're like a slightly darker shade of blue. These. Oh, human hamlets. I feel like they're light. Yeah, they're a different blue. I'm used to human hamlets being like this color or green. That's an elven hamlet? Also the Deathland of Listening, excuse me? The Deathland of Listening. Death is landing and they're listening. Huh. What's the name of that island up in the top left? Also, the Mythical World is a pretty good name. Oh, yeah, you're the land of races? Why, because they're blue? And this whole content is called the Deathland of Listening. Huh. And there's the washed land down south. Big old evil glacier. Fun. Human pits, eh? It's also a good biome right here. Let's continue. Yeah, chat, I don't know what to do these days. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm like this now. I kind of hate it, to be honest. As another streamer I like to watch always says, I didn't used to be like this. I used to be a much happier person, but here we are. Just looking for small changes. I noticed one of the towns up in the top right got evil. That little evil biome near the second tower right here is spreading now. Spread from one tile to the right. It's not days though, that's the thing. Like if it was just a few days, like it wouldn't impact me this heavily, right? It's not just a few days, it's been years, man. Like I don't think you watched me before I started going downhill. So like when did you follow me? Apologies for the stalking. Yeah, you followed me in September 2020. That was after I like drastically started going downhill too. Like me 4 years ago and me now, I'm not even the same person anymore. Like, have you been here longer? It's just me a few years ago versus me now. I'm not even the same person anymore. It's like if it was just a few days, I could handle it. Because a couple of years ago, that's all it was. It was like every now and again there'd be like 1 to 5 days that were like really crappy, and then I'd bounce back. There is no bouncing back anymore. That's the problem. It's just yeah, but it doesn't matter how it sounds, right? Does that make any sense? It doesn't matter how it sounds. What matters is how it affects you and where you're at. It's not days. It's so much more than that now. Like it's been so much more than that for so long. Kind of hoping that that ocean up there keeps getting eviler. Also, there's evil ocean over on the right, and there's now an evil monastery over on the right. Like, if I wanted to make this sound better, then I would talk about this stuff the way I did a couple of years ago, where it's just like, yeah, a couple bad days here and there. But it's not that anymore. It hasn't been that for a long time. If it was just a few bad days, it would just be a few bad days. I'd bounce back and be fine. I don't know when I'll be fine again. Or if I'll ever be fine again. At this point, I'm starting to think I don't think I'll ever be fine again. I think my brain just rewired itself. Like, ceased functioning at a point. Whenever people are like, yeah, mental health, it's good to talk about it. It's like, mental health, what's that? Because I don't have that anymore. It's just, it went away and it's gone. Goodbye. Peace. Mental lack of health, more like. Kind of hoping that that haunted area will infect that swamp up there. On either side. Both of the towers are slowly moving into the swamp, and I'm kind of hoping they'll both infect the swamp, because I think a haunted swamp would make for a really fun fort. Why do I even try anymore at this point? Like, that's just where I'm at. I don't know. Lifting? Do you mean like lifting weights? Or do you mean like something else? Okay, well. I used to do a lot of working out, and in the past, it certainly hasn't done anything positive for me mentally. In the past, I would say it's actually been the opposite. Quitting working out actually was a mental benefit to me, or at least quitting working out with other people. This is an evil ass world now. This is an evil as hell world. Like, mainland is basically an apocalypse. Because I don't know. I mean, I was in like sports, so my opinion of exercise is kind of colored by what it was like to exercise with other teenagers and people around my age. And yeah, no, it was never pleasant. I've never really enjoyed working out. I mean, I'm not out of shape, so I can't run anymore. I used to be able to run. I don't have. I have a really hard time running on treadmills because I get vertigo and I fall over. And I've been hit by cars by enough times that running on the street is borderline dangerous for me. Like, I don't have the spatial awareness. It's like, I don't know. I just can't. If I let this world generate for another 200 years, this whole world is going to be an apocalypse. The problem that I live with now, it's like, it's not, I think, because I've had people not throw that, that sounds bad. I've had people suggest that in the past, like, have you thought about, like, working out? And I'll say that the only time for me that I think working out really helps is if you feel like you are improving yourself by working out. I don't get any satisfaction of that out of that kind of improvement because I'm already pretty healthy when it comes to working out. Like I can just drop everything and go on a 30-kilometer hike and be okay the next day. You know, like I'm not out of shape, so I don't really get any enjoyment out of that, because in order for me to actually see physical or visible improvements, I would have to do it so much that it would take over my life, and I'm not willing to dedicate that much time to it. It's sort of like any kind of skill where in order to see improvements, you have to dedicate time to it, and in order for me to see improvements from working out, I would need to do it way too much. You're ending early. What's going on? Hi, Belliner. Yeah, and that's not something that I'm willing to dedicate that amount of time to. Yeah, what's going on? That was a very short and early stream for you. I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't weightlift and I don't heavy work out, but I do have resistance bands in this dresser, and I do use them 3-ish times a week. Okay, fair enough. I'm just sitting here being depressed and generating worlds in Dwarf Fort. And then I'm going to read some legends. Exercise does push feel-good chemicals to the brain, yes. And I do work out. I've never gotten enjoyment out of heavy weightlifting. I don't have the equipment to do heavy weightlifting. And that doesn't help, Cooler. But thanks for your input. Going to the gym isn't really an option still. Because, like, I don't fucking trust people. Like, in a world where there was a crowd of, like, 50 people down by the hospital, which is very close to the gym where I live, preaching anti-vaxxing, yeah, I still don't really trust people enough to go to that gym, and the gym in my building is still closed because they don't want to risk lawsuits. Well, when I figure out how to do that, Cooler, I'll get back to you, and thank you for the advice. So, yeah, no, gyms suck, and I do work out. So, I don't know. You were ending stream and you remembered that it was 4 a.m. and you were like, oh yeah, no, I getcha. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day off, Belliner. Cheers, man. Yeah, I saw you go live with that game, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a Belliner game. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, no, like the thing that I've said earlier, and this is the thing that I'm still trying to figure out how to fix, and it's not like I'm just talking to you guys about this. Like, I've been talking to my mom about this quite a bit recently. It's like, literally everything that I care about in my life is gone, and that's the actual problem. Is like, there is nothing left that I care about. And that is a really difficult thing to fix. I can't even care about myself anymore because I'm so broken that it's just like, well, what's there to actually care about or for? So I don't know. My mom is making me take care of their dog for like a week or two. So starting tonight, I'm going to have my parents' dog, which is going to hopefully help a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Just having a little white poodle around that I can pat on the head and take for walks. So, also, that is maybe the saddest emote I've ever seen. Nor stat. Although I think that's what it's supposed to be. Although it says it's scared. It looks kind of like a Bible thump to me. Like someone crying. But yeah, so I will be taking care of a poodle for a bit. So maybe you guys will get puppy cam. Dog cam? How's that sound? Screw my ugly mug. I'll just replace me with a poodle. I'm sure that'll do better than my face does. But yeah, we'll be taking care of a dog for a bit. And it's funny because like over the years, as I've started to bitch about depression, people on the internet have always recommended get a pet, and my knee-jerk response is always, I go to 4 conventions a year, or what if I want to travel, or what if I want to like move? I'm not moving anytime soon. Like, I'm probably realistically gonna be in this apartment again next year unless they evict me or something. So I'm outside of temporarily taking care of my parents' dog. I'm actively looking to get a dog now. I don't want a puppy because puppies are obnoxious and I want something that's trained. But I'm looking into getting some sort of terrier or something. I'm just keeping an eye on all of the shelters because, you know, we got the SPCA. They have branches all over the city. And so I'm just kind of looking and refreshing on their website pretty consistently and keeping an eye out. Year 420, smoke them if you got them. This is a very Halloween-y world. Holy shit. Look at all those towers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18. God damn it. Holy hell. I'm just going to pause this for a second and just take a peek around. Well, this is certainly an apocalyptic dead as hell world. What do towers do? That's where necromancers are made. You see, when a necromancer and a book love each... Well, when a crazy person and a book love each other very much, the crazy person reads the book and they become Satan. That's how evil works in Dwarf. I mean, this is our tiny little island off the coast, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 towers on it. And this is probably where I'd be playing, on this little island. But, like, this area is just... The apocalypse has happened. Although there's still plenty of, like, elves around, so I don't know. Although most of these are elven towers. Or at least that one was. It's a lot of elven towers. Dwarven tower. It's like fucking Tower Unite over here. Friendly neighborhood corpse reincarnators, yeah. Friendly neighborhood corpse reincarnators. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do at this point, is we'll see if taking care of my parents' dog helps at all, and if it does, I'm going to start actively applying to get a pet. Because I just need something to care about to distract me from myself at this point. You know, because I've always been pretty good at that. Taking care of other things. So that's the current, I guess, plan. The problem is owning a dog is expensive. But well, I'll get by. 2 more towers. Ugh. I think this world's actually a little too evil. I don't mind it. Quite like that swamp, but I think I'm just going to abort this one. Start over. It's evil, but like not evil in the ways that I want it to be. Let's drop the number of civs down to medium. Regen again. Ooh, I don't like this. I'll tell you right now, I don't like this. Well, actually, maybe I do. Do I? Do I not? That's a lot of good biomes. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. Also not a fan of this one. I like ones that are like more complete continents. I don't like it when they're just like super fractured. I like things to be connected. To unevil? With war, yes. Let's see what this one turns into. Still placing lakes and rivers. I mean, you can go into the settings and just disable necromancy and demons and goblins and elves and humans and dwarves, and that would remove it evil. You'd have kobolds, and they'd be very lonely because they'd have no one to steal from. That's basically you'd have a world full of depressed kobolds, and that would be about it. I kind of like this one. That's a big fucking mountain range. Yeah, it would literally just be sad kobold sounds, Diamond. Lane of Profit. No one to steal. Could you imagine having no one to steal from? They would be relegated to stealing fruit off of trees. Let's just pause the gen of this for a sec. It's a really okay, that's kind of a neat biome. Because it's a good biome with a necromancer tower in the middle, meaning it might be a good and evil biome pretty soon. If what is planned. Cooler. They could steal from each other. Steal what from each other, though? Because they can't make anything. Changing exist. I thought that evil biomes expand and retract based on necromancers. Oh, actually, I don't know if that happens past world gen right now, but I know Tarn has talked about wanting, like, if you settle next to a tower, that the tower could make your biome become an evil biome in real time. I think that's coming as part of the map rewrite, so I would say yeah. Imagine if you cut down too many trees and your area becomes a desert. All the water dries up. But yeah, I guess I just want to say that it's my lack of mental health is not due to an absence of trying. For whatever that's worth. It's not that I haven't been trying. The natural evil or good biomes don't change. Yeah, I don't think so. No, those don't go away. If an area is haunted, it's just gonna be haunted. I like this area. I like this area a whole bunch. Because you got that huge, like, wall of dwarves. Well, I mean, it depends on what perspective and what side you're on. Viewer. Yeah, this seems neat. There's a tower there and there's haunted spanning out of it. And then that wall of dwarves up there. A couple goblins down here. This could be a fun spot. That could be a fun spot for a Halloween fort if that tower continues to spread. So we'll watch it, see what it does. I mean, I mentioned this a couple times over the past couple weeks, Wave Depletion, but I did this last year. I did a Halloween fort. So I'm just kind of early prepping for that. Just trying to find a world I like. And, I mean, obviously I'm not totally myself today, so figured it would be best to, you know, not start playing the Patreon game today, and figured today might be an okay, like, world generation and chill stream, basically. I mean, I don't even know if I'll put this VOD on YouTube because I don't know if I want myself rambling about this kind of dark shit going up on YouTube. That's a cool biome. Wonder what it's called. I don't generate that many worlds and I delete the ones I don't like. That's how I keep track of it. I haven't generated a world since I last talked with Tarn. Didn't generate a world for about 5 months before that. The Land of Trotting. You can also rename the world, yeah. But yeah, for me, I don't actually generate that many worlds. I love how long this huge ass mountain range is. Right here, look at that. Just kind of goes all the way down. And then there's this other one here that's just like all the way along. Hey, Lake Bear. How's things? Oh no. Yeah, you press and you boot out of the world and you're like, no, I liked that one. That was a good one. I like this world because theoretically I could do a good and evil biome, which could theoretically be a lot of fun for Halloween. I'm not actually going to embark today. That's something that I want to make clear, though. I do not plan on embarking on any worlds today. Just looking at legends and generating. I do want to check the materials that are there, though. But yeah, part of the reason I think that I've been having such a difficult time lately, and the reason it's been so obvious, is just because my mental health has gotten to a point where it's like I feel like I'm letting everybody down on a daily basis, which is like I think caused me to accelerate and spiral faster than I should be. You know? Like I've fallen out of that normal cadence of just like down up, down up. Instead it's just like down up. It just kind of fell off a cliff at a point. Because if I'm not feeling great and I'm not in a good state of mind, normally I can just kind of shut it off and turn the stream on. As long as I feel that, well, it doesn't matter if you tell me that or not, right? Understand? It literally doesn't matter. If my brain tells me that, it's true, right? Because like your reality is the reality that you perceive, and if you perceive something in your mind to be true, then it is true. And in my case, if I feel that I'm doing a bad job or I feel that I'm not doing enough, then I'm letting people down, right? And for me, in order to feel like I'm doing enough, I need to be able to work so much more than I'm even than I can work right now. In order to feel like I'm doing enough, I have to be able to do so much more than I'm doing right now. So it doesn't matter if people tell me that I'm letting them down. Every time I lose a subscriber, every time somebody unfollows, every single time somebody just states that they don't like my content, or even to a degree leaving a dislike on a YouTube video, even though I know it doesn't actually hurt me.
The most legendary legendiest legends that go down in legendary legend books of legendary quality.
It doesn't matter if thanks, Animal. It doesn't matter if anybody tells me that. What matters is if my brain thinks I've not done enough. Dominic, hello, how are you? But Animal, thank you very much for the 44 months. You mad lad. Hope you've been well. You absolute fucking mad lad. We're just generating some worlds and maybe reading some legends today, Dominic. I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. Good to hear, Animal. I'm sure it's good for other people. It's been pretty terrible for me, to be honest. And my dryer's making weird noises. It's not even running and it's making weird noises. Not really. Just generated some land masses I disliked, so I deleted them. But I'm enjoying this one. The thing that we're watching right now is I'm watching this in the middle here because this is a good biome with a tower in the middle of it. So it's a good biome that's getting hunted, which could be fun. I'm looking for a good map to use for a Halloween fort. Check. Thanks for the beers for Animal. Also, Animal, it's a good thing that the F1 race result last week was the way it was last week and not this week. Otherwise, your country would have been very disappointed in your boy, who ended up on top of another car today, which was entertaining. Nobody was hurt, thankfully. This is very funny. They like slow motion crawled on top of another car. And hey, Henwad, what's up? You heard from your friend, gotcha. Yeah, I watched it live, so it was a fun race. Highlight of my day. I can't read that. Well, I mean, I understand one of the words in there, Diamond. And then there's another word in there that I understand, which I don't think means that in your language. So I don't speak Dutch, so what did Max do? Let's see if I can find the thumbnail. Spoilers for F1, just because I have YouTube up. That's Max's car on top of Lewis Hamilton's car. Quite literally. They just really, really, really liked Lewis Hamilton, so they had a cuddle fight in the middle of the track. Which, you know, great for audience entertainment value, not great for the prospect of either of them finishing the race. Also, Max didn't technically lose because he wasn't the first DNF. I think technically the first DNF was Yuki Tsunoda, who didn't even start. The Max has to go in the back now? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean by Max has to go into the back now? Does that mean like the country is disowning him and firing him for, you know, that? God, there's a lot of gubbins. It's not as apocalyptic as the last world. There's still plenty of areas that are pretty chill. Well, I mean, he did kind of skip going up and talking to the guys at the pit wall and just walked straight back to his trailer, so maybe that's what they're talking about. He just beelined it straight to his trailer and didn't come out after after he got into an accident with Lewis. I don't mind though. It just means entertaining racing for the rest of us. I mean, maybe they should just put him in the corner for a bit if he can't stay off of other cars. But I don't know. Investments are open. I'm gonna go close the sliding glass door. It's getting chilly in here. I don't have any easily accessible pairs of socks and my feet are cold. I need to do laundry. Got this pile of laundry right there and I don't know if I want to put on yesterday's socks. How's the cookie going? I don't have Cookie Clicker running right now, but cookies are going pretty good, I think. I could turn it on, but I don't know. Taking a break from Cookie Clicker for today. Had it running all night last night, so. Hey, audio. Damn, 3,000 hours. I don't know if that should be a reaction to me saying, damn, 3,000 hours. But hey. I hope that you're well. You have no life? What makes you say that? What in the world makes you say that? I think having 3,000 hours on a Twitch stream doesn't mean that you have no life. It just means that Twitch is, or I'm tracking your hours on a format of entertainment. Imagine if you could just get an hour count of the amount of time you spent watching TV in your life. You know? Imagine like you could just like ping every movie theater you've ever been to, every person's house you've ever been to, and every time you sat down in front of a TV and spent an hour watching TV. Be willing to bet that that hour would be significantly higher than anybody has on my stream. Like, I probably have close to 300 hours just watching the original Star Wars trilogy when I was a kid. Because we watched those movies a lot when I was growing up. So, sometimes you have no life, but you do certainly win a lot of tickets in my chat. So congrats. That investment paid off. But yeah, no, I'm just rambling about depression and watching a world generate in the background. When it's finished, I will read some legends. We'll see if we can find some stories. The frame rate improved after the city, and the ending was pretty fucking cool. I'll put the VOD up tomorrow if you want to watch the rest of it. I think you left towards the like I'd say the last fifth of the game. There was maybe about an hour and a half after you left. Yeah, it's a 5-hour game, 5-6 hours. I think to 100% it, there's an area that you have to replay, but yeah, I mean it's like a 6-hour game. So yes, it's a short game. But then again, you also have to remember that my favorite game of all time is Inside, which is 4 hours. I can beat Inside in like 3.5 now too, even. So, well, depending on the year, Inside is my favorite game, or Portal 1 is my favorite game. And Portal 1 is like, I can beat Portal 1 in like 40 minutes tops. So, I just run through that game. Don't even really need to think about any of the puzzles, and I still do it once a year. I'm looking forward to playing through Portal again this year. Every Christmas. It's my Christmas, like, tradition, I guess. That game was chill. Which is funny, because it's not really chill, it's like guitar wailing-y. It is really short. Yeah, and if you buy it on a Steam sale, you can get Portal 2 for $2 usually. The fact that there are still people in existence that don't own and haven't played Portal 2 blows my mind a little bit. To hearing me play Portal again. I mean, it's an annual thing. You bought both for $5? That's a good price for two very good games. I mean, you've watched me finish Portal 2. Got both Portals for free. I got Portal 1 for free after I bought it. I bought Portal 1 as part of the orange box. Then I got Portal 1 for free on my current Steam account when I deleted my old Steam account because I wanted a Steam account that didn't have Counter-Strike on it so that I would stop playing Counter-Strike. And then I started playing League of Legends, so you know. But I still wanted an account that had Portal on it. So when they gave Portal away for free the first time, I went and got it a second time. Yeah, I gave up cocaine for heroin, basically. Swapping from Counter-Strike to LoL. I should also play through Inside again this year. I haven't done that this year. I did that last year. I want to say Zapdos, who was here earlier, was there for that. Dwarf Fortress is trying to crash again. Stella? I'm not sure about Stella, but I mean, yes, I've played Limbo because it's the same studio. I'm looking up Stella right now. The problem that I have with games that are just like Limbo or Inside is whenever I play them, I'm looking at this right now. Whenever I play them, I always just end up wanting to play Inside because I kind of consider, well, Limbo not so much. Limbo's a little bit more primitive, but I kind of consider Inside to be a perfect game. Like every single portion of that game is exquisitely designed. Like I wouldn't change anything about Inside. There's a few things I would change about Limbo, but there's nothing I would change about Inside. And I'm looking at Stella right now, and I'm looking at reviews, and I'm looking at some gameplay now, and every time I see a game that's like, oh, this is very clearly inspired by Inside, I would just rather replay Inside because it's like, I've played a few games. I haven't played the Stella specifically, but I've played a few games that like are very much aping on that style. And I don't think any of them have the time or the budget even to put that amount of care and finesse into crafting a world. Like Inside was in development for 6.5 years. And it's a 4-hour game. So it's not even, it's like, it's a 3.5-hour game, right? And I don't think many studios have that kind of money. It's sort of like telling someone who really likes platformers, who really, really, really likes playing through Celeste, that there are games that are as good as Celeste. Yeah, sure. Platforming-wise, there are definitely games that are as good as Celeste. And story-wise, there are games that are as good as Celeste. But I don't think that there's any games that are as good at platforming and the story and the music. Like, I don't think there is another game out there currently that has the same level of everything that Celeste has for what Celeste is. So for me, and it's the same reason, like, I don't play any of the Portal-like games, is because, like, I just want to play Portal again. And I don't know if this is how unique this is to me, but like I know a few other streamers who are kind of like that, where it's like some people really like games that are like Dark Souls, right? And they will play every game that plays even remotely like Dark Souls, though. If it even comes close to falling into that kind of design ethos, there are people that will just play those regardless, right? But then there are people who are like, no, I just want to play Dark Souls again. That's kind of the way I am, because like I'm not super huge into variety. Unless it's doing something unique and interesting, that really sets it apart from the game that it's inspired by, I'd rather just play the game that inspired it. Is almost always my take. Also, I'm really sad. All of the evil biomes stopped spreading in here. Let's abort this one. I'm going to change something, actually. Drop this down to low. Number of civs, low. Push the number of beasts up to very high. Let's try this. Ooh, big swamp. It's too fractured. This isn't a large world. In my experience, it doesn't, but your results may vary. World age and world size doesn't affect frame rates for me at all. Generation time, yeah, of course it affects it. Like, the bigger and the older the world, it's going to take longer. Like, if I'm going to generate 1,000 years of a large world, that's going to take me 4 hours. It's getting too fractured. But as far as like the actual playing of it, loading, saving, yes. Saving takes longer in bigger worlds. Loading the game takes longer in bigger worlds. But just playing the game, I personally don't run into that much of a difference. But your results may vary. I don't actually know too much there. But I think that it's a little bit outdated if it's the take that it's slow, bigger / older worlds slow the game down. From my experience, the big difference between an old world and a young world in Dwarf Fortress is an old world has a lot more zombies and necromancer experiments and that sort of stuff, and a young world is more likely to have big monsters, so dragons, titans, forgotten beasts, that kind of stuff. So to me, it's more like it's less of a, old worlds are bad on your frame rate, and more of a, well, if you want this kind of entertainment in your world, generate a world this age. If you want this kind of entertainment in your world, generate a world that's this age, if that makes any sense. And played Singed support. I mean, sounds fun, Vin. I don't know how useful Singed support would be. But it would take a lot to lure me back into League of Legends. Although, ironically, I watch other people play League of Legends so that I don't have to play League of Legends. Okay. This is kind of a peaceful world on the latter half. Top side's getting kind of fucked up, but bottom side, pretty chill. The feverish plain, big ol' haunted desert over there. There is one tower down here, though. Yeah, no, there is very few things that would be able to convince me to go back to League these days. There is an evil jungle up there, though. A lot of goblins, but evil jungle could be fun. The evil sticky mess of the warted gunk. On the flip side, though, Dominic, you asked if I've played other Inside-like games. Do you have any Inside-like games that you've played that you enjoyed more than Inside, if you've played Inside? We could find an evil biome with Trick in the name. Trick is a dwarven word. I hope Evil Trick's doing alright. His, keeps getting these ear infections that seem pretty nasty. Hey, Stone. Yeah, that's the reason we haven't done RTS Monday in a while, is because Evil Trick has been out of commission. He's been, like, he was out for like 2 weeks with a ear infection so bad he couldn't put headphones on, and I think it's come back because he's just kind of vanished again, so I hope he's okay. I think he's also had a bit of a rough time as of late. But how's your Sunday been? Did you have a Sunday dinner today, Stone? Only Inside and Limbo, and you liked them both quite a bit. I really, 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 really liked Limbo when it came out. I retroactively like Limbo a little bit less now just because some of the mechanics in it haven't aged that well, but Inside is probably one of my favorite games ever made, and I can't wait for Somerville, which I think has a Steam page so I can show you. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, Somerville, which is made by a studio called Jump Ship, which is... Yeah, it's Dino Patti, who is the co-founder of Playdead. So the co-founder of Playdead's new studio. Let's see if I can find a... Problem is like you Google Somerville game and you mostly get like sports games in the town of Somerville, which is a real place. There it is. This thing. Which looks amazing. But, yeah. So very much looking forward to Somerville. Same kind of look and feel and idea. It's like family running away from alien invasion. Also, it's kind of funny that they named the studio Jump Ship. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be another one of those. I mean, just like, check this. Just look at this. Yeah, I want to play Somerville. This looks real cool. So, super excited about this. Admittedly, this trailer's from a while ago, so. It might not survive that long. As long as you're not jumping from one ship to another, you know? Yeah, they released a gameplay trailer a little bit more recently, and, you know, it looks a lot like Inside kind of deal. Your 405th wishlist a game. I actually went through recently and tried to unwishlist a lot of the stuff that was on my wish list, but I ran into a problem pretty quickly. And the problem is kind of funny. I have so many games on my Steam wishlist. Half of them aren't on listed on Steam anymore because I had like hundreds of games on my Steam. I had like 500 games on my Steam wishlist at some point. And half of them are just called uninitialized now because they no longer exist on Steam. Like the developer no longer exists or the studio no longer exists and they took the game down. Which is fine, aside from that you can't unwishlist a game that no longer exists on Steam. So I have like 30, 40 games on my wish list that don't exist on Steam that I can't remove, that are just uninitialized, and I try to remove them from my wish list and Steam either crashes or it just boots me to the front page of the Steam store. Because for a while there, I did some work on another YouTube channel where we covered games that weren't out yet. We did like reaction videos to trailers and shit like that, right? And so I was constantly keeping an eye on a lot of these newer games. Oh, I've reported it. Like, this is Valve we're talking about. They don't look at bug reports. Don't be silly. Come on, they're not quite Apple levels of draconian dumb, but like, they're close. And I don't think many people, you know, run around wish listing dozens, if not hundreds, of tiny little indie games. Especially in a world now where, I mean, I could show, like, just off the top of my head, I can show you a few games that would have that problem. There's this one, which I own, Necro. I actually kickstarted this game. As far as I can tell, the two developers working on this game sued each other. Anyway, if you click on this, it just takes you to the front page of Steam. I have a lot of games that are like that now on my wish list. So if I scroll down, actually, let's see if I can find one. Give you an example. If I go to the section of Steam where it's like, since you wish for this game, we're recommending this game. And there's almost always a few that are like, since you wish for this, yeah, here's one. Dread Templar, since you wish for uninitialized. So even though there's actually nothing on my Steam wish list right now, there's about 30 games on my wish list that are all just this. Super Hot VR, because you wish for uninitialized. So if you click on uninitialized, was it Phil Fish? No, it just takes you to the front page of Steam. I have so many of those. Was it? But no, that was like one of them wanted to stop working on it, and they wanted the other one to stop working on it as well, and the first one wanted us to keep working on it. So then the studio stopped being a thing, and then they sued each other. You know, standard game developer thing. Yeah, I hate that. That's like, that sucks when I'm like, what else has this studio made before, Man in Red? And then it's like, oh, it's just the publisher page. Cool. I kind of hate that. I don't know. But yeah, no, I have quite a few games on Steam now that are just unavailable on Steam that you can't buy anymore. Also, speaking of games that you can't play anymore, that Warhammer 40k shooter. No, this is the Subnautica Below Zero soundtrack. DF doesn't. Well, DF has music, and it's this. Which was recorded on Tarn's laptop microphone. And it just loops like this. It's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of music, and it just keeps looping. I like it, but it gets a bit repetitive. But it was a quick Google search. Hey, Dragonman, how are you? This person is doing the music for Dwarf Fortress on Steam. So if I pause this, this is the one piece of DF music that we have a preview for. And this is fucking fitting as hell, and I love it. So yeah, that's all that we know about the Steam version music. Is that? Yeah, it's got kind of the same dreamy guitar noodling sounds. Well, I hope you're having a good breakfast/lunch thingy, Dragon Man. I mean, it has to have, in my opinion, it literally legally has to have a cover of Tarn's original Guitar Noodles in order for me to like it, so. I read that it's Microsoft's soundtrack, and you know what? I guess that's not that far off. I've listened to the Minecraft soundtrack while playing DF, and yes, it fits. That's such a low-key vibing emote. Wave depletion. It's just vibing. You know, just listen to some music. Oh hey, I think Twitch is finally deleting bots. Which means that's the polite way of saying I lost 75 followers since I started today. And you know, I've been whiny and depressed, but I haven't been that whiny and depressed. So fucking finally. Some of you might remember like those awful fucking hate raids that happened on Twitch. I got hit by one of those and we got like 500 followers in about 10 seconds. When that happened, all of them like racial slur names and very long number names and all that shit. Just bot names, basically. I mean, I just went through and like banned them by the bucket load, but like there was a few in there that, because at the time I was playing Jupiter Hell, which had just released on Steam, and I got raided by Kiri like shortly before that. So it was hard to tell whether some of them were bots or if some of them were legit follows, so I couldn't just go through and remove them all. So yeah, no, I just lost 75 followers like all at once. So, I mean, within a couple days, Twitch deleted a few hundred too. So, yeah, yeah. I'm actually like not bothered by the hate raids as much as some people, but they're not really targeted at me though. So, yeah, and it's not gonna go anywhere. I mean, Twitch is suing 2 people in 2 different countries. That's not gonna go anywhere. Like, come on. They're suing somebody in Austria and somebody in Sweden. So, yeah, no, Gremlin for mayor is fine. Why would I ban a bot that I know? Like, I barely even count Gremlin for mayor as a bot because that's just Diamond's hobby. I mean, it's the internet. It's like people are gonna be asinine. You just kind of use the moderation tools to the best of your ability, and like there was a because like the reason that the bots get by the spam filters is because they use different symbols, right? Well, there was an example of somebody who decided to write the word to write simple words, and the word he used was jogging, with different symbols that are from different alphabets that we have available through our keyboard and through all of the different international keyboards with all the different alphabets around the world. And it was something like borderline millions of different ways that you could write the word jogging, and you look at it and it looks like the word jogging with different characters. Like, it's impossible to filter out every single possible combination of letters. Well, I mean, it's not impossible, but like, it's extremely difficult to do that. So, I mean, I look at that stuff and I'm just like, it sucks, but what are you even gonna do? Like, it's the internet. Just a few more digits than a million. It's like, those raids, they fucking suck, and people are asinine, and the more vulnerable you make yourself, the more asinine people will be to you, and that's just the internet. That's the moment you give people anonymity on the internet, they will do that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just, maybe it's a shitty take. I don't know, but it's par for the course. You put yourself on the internet, you put yourself up for harassment. I've dealt with harassment over the years. It sucks. I get it. But I don't know. I don't fully understand the visceral response to this round, because like, this has happened before and it's never had this level of response. So maybe it's good that it's having this level of response, to be honest. But it just, to me, it's more of a, why now? Why not? Why not years ago? But I don't know. To me, like, at the very least, people aren't getting swatted anymore. So you don't hear about that sort of physical harassment happening anymore. At least not as often. There was a while there where it was like you turn around every day, it's like, oh, this person got swatted. Oh, this person got swatted. Oh, this person. Like, it got to the point where I actually called my local police department and let them know that I'm an internet person. And it was like, hey, like, if you get a call to my place saying I have a bomb or something, maybe don't come in guns blazing, you know? Like, call me first. Like, just phone the house. Fortunately, they never had to act on it, but although supposedly Canadian police is better about that than other places in the world. But fortunately, like, that problem's been gone for a while. So now they just need to start filtering out racial slurs. I think this might be the world we stick with. Let's pause and see what that top and bottom sides look like. Because right in the middle, we'd have to get underground real quick, but there's an evil jungle. right here. It's a very evil spot, so it'd be hard to live there. But we could do an underground evil jungle, which I think could be very fun. So we've got this huge dwarven stronghold back here. I'm happy this area hasn't fallen. That's cool. I love worlds that have like unpopulated areas, because or areas that are very sectioned off. Like the elves exist, but they're like, it feels more like low fantasy than like the kind of higher fantasy that Dwarf Fortress can sometimes feel like. Just because like, yeah, there are elves, but they live in like in the blue continents down in the jungles of rubbing. The dwarven strongholds in the Hill of Ringing in the top left of the map, and then down here we have this mountain range with the feverish plain, the haunted deserts and savannas. No, I understand that, Belug, but you didn't watch this stream in 2013 when people would post my stream's link on 4chan twice a stream. And so we'd be streaming. Wall of Mario shitting. And this was like before the affiliate stuff, so and we didn't have follower only chat. That wasn't a feature that existed on Twitch, right? Our only defense against that back then was just ban people. So, like, while I totally understand that it fucking sucks. It really, 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 really does. The thing that I think shocks me is that people say that Twitch's moderation tools aren't there, when it's more up to the user to utilize the moderation tools. Because the moderation tools exist between bots and the way the chats operate. Yeah, the moderation tools certainly exist. But it's up to the streamer to utilize them. So like I fully I understand what it's like because I've been there. That being said, I am happy that Twitch is responding and like actually dealing with it now, and trying to make some effort to deal with it. That part is cool. I guess I'm more just frustrated that back when I was getting harassed, back when I was first starting out, that there wasn't any response like that back then. If that makes any sense. It retroactively makes me cranky. You know, like my phone number got leaked twice. Kind of shit. I had passwords leaked. I had an old address leaked at one point. Like there was a time where I would just sit here. I was sitting in my chair just streaming, and this guy just popped into the chat and just posted my phone number 6 times. Like, well, where'd you get that? My mom's Facebook page. From a post from 6 years ago. Like, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Harassment will always exist. What is wrong with people? And also to be clear, back then, I was a streamer with 150 followers streaming to 7 people. So, I think this is a world we're going to stick with. It doesn't have the good and evil biome stuff that I was kind of hoping for, but plenty of interesting goblin and dwarven and elven strongholds that I like, and a very, 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 very strong human stronghold as well. Sorry, just reading that. People be people. Some people have a small dick and too few attention, or just mental thing. I like your logic. Some people have small dick. Yes, some people do have small dickism. Wouldn't shock me, Dominic. Although if you say small dick in any context, if you dig deep enough, you may retroactively be unknowingly quoting South Park. That's for us to know and you not to find out, Norstat. Can I just, like, throw out maybe an unpopular opinion here? Frozen fish sticks are disgusting. Like, holy shit. Why do people eat those things? They're so fucking gross. Like, I don't want this to be like a ketchup rant, but, like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with people? Why do you eat, like, breaded frozen fish sticks? Like, if you're gonna get something from the frozen food aisle, get literally anything else. Get, like, meat pies, get, like, I don't know, fucking Hot Pockets, get, like, French fries, get, like, literally anything else. Why do people get breaded frozen fish? Like, get chicken strips. Frozen chicken strips are fine. They're great. But my parents and, like, my ex's parents and people that I've known in the past used to always just have fish sticks. I think I don't think it's necessarily what the trolls are eating. I think it's like my grandma loves fish sticks. I think it's like the people who grew up in the 60s and 70s food. You know what I mean? It's like that generation loves fish sticks for some reason, and I don't get it. And then, like, the generation before that as well. Like, sort of like the baby boomers, and then just that it's just I mean, I'll eat their shitty food, ERBR. Like, I will eat like I'll eat Hamburger Helper. I'll do any of that. But, like, fish sticks just taste like rubber with a slight fish smell, and I don't understand it. Corn dogs are acceptable in one format, and one format only. And that is fresh out of a deep fryer while at a fairground. That is the only format that corn dogs are acceptable. Any other format for corn dogs, you're doing something wrong. There isn't even any, like, accounting for sustenance. Like, they're not filling. Like, you could get more vitamins and nutrients out of a bag of peanuts than a fucking fish stick. Anyway, I quite like this world. I don't know about you guys. Got, like, the thin waters next to the crest of that's a good name for a mountain range. The crest of discoveries. Dwarves, monasteries, and goblins galore, human hamlets. This is very much the most lively, active area, I would assume. Then over here we have these jungles that are mostly run by the goblins. We have a haunted ocean, the Sea of Lashes, as well as a bunch of human settlements, and a haunted jungle. Which is kind of awesome. Blue continents and the flowery prairie that turns into the crazy desert. The crazy desert and the feverish plain. Who doesn't want to live in the crazy desert? The Hill of Standards. What, the crazy desert? Does cactus water make you crazy? I love this line of green constructions here because these are all human. Corn dogs are delicious as fairground food, but kind of in the same way that cotton candy is delicious as fairground food. Like, there's certain types of super unhealthy, crappy food that are really good in a specific context, you know? I read the name as that as Bat Wiseau. And I was like, is that like Tommy Wiseau's Batman persona? Man, no, corn dogs are really tasty, fresh out of the deep fryer. It's kind of like the difference between going to a really nice pizza place, Dominoc, and having a microwave pizza from the frozen aisle. What do you guys think of this world, chat? You guys think that we could do a Halloween fort here? Potentially? If this area has the right resources? I don't know. Does anybody have a Tommy Wiseau emote and a Batman emote? Does anybody have a Batman emote that's not subbed to me, and then we can gift them a sub so they'll have those two, and then we'll put them both in the same chat room at the same time? But no, can't say I have. The North Jungle. I'm going to accept it. I'm not going to go to this world, but I am going to I'm not going to embark, but I'm going to go into the embark screen just because I want to know what resources are up top. Man, I want Ben Prunty to write the soundtrack to my life. But yeah, maybe the only source of liquid sustenance in that desert is cactus water. All right, so let's take a look at this. I got so many copies of that one. I want to say it's the one that I just generated. Actually, it might be this one. Is this the right one? I didn't actually look at the translated name. I don't know what that means, by the way. Rikudo. Yes, okay, so this is the world that we just generated. Let's see what materials we have up here. Alright, so there's a varied aquifer, but there's deep metals. It's a scorching, thick, sinister, tropical moist broadleaf forest. I think that's going to be where we are going to put our Halloween fort. What do you think, chat? We're not embarking today. Huh. You learn something every day. Okay, no? I've never had to do a math proof, so... Potentially. There's also this temperate savanna down here. This is a cool spot. So if we fail, we could re-embark to here. It's not luck. It's a decision to, you know, not go to school. You could do the same if you wanted to. Drop out of high school and don't go to uni and get a job. And you can have my same luck. What's the fort plan? I'm not sure yet. Because I don't actually want to embark today. I mean, what I'm doing. I'm gonna read some legends. Last year for October, I did a Halloween fort. We made an evil fort. We ended up with a goblin king and a dragon and a bunch of other fun stuff. And I dug a pit down to hell and dropped goblins into it. Well, not quite down to hell, but I dug a hole from the surface all the way down to lava and dropped goblins into it. And it was very entertaining. But I'm thinking about doing that again this year, but, you know, maybe a slightly different fort. And instead of starting it late October, I want to start it, like, before the end of this month, maybe next week. Probably this coming weekend, actually. And we're going to call it Reign of Terror, and I'm going to run it from, hopefully, assuming the fort doesn't die, like midweek or Saturday next week until Halloween. Hopefully ending it on Halloween. Admittedly, I also want to play some spooky game around Halloween. I'm thinking about some spooky roguelike or something, but yeah, that's something that I would like to do. So, but I'm gonna take a real quick piss break, and then we're gonna read some legends in this world that we just generated. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. Thanks for tolerating my whininess, I guess. Back in a minute.